In this demonstration, I will just describe the steps involved with using the Capture tab within the Omega software. The first thing you need to do when you move the scan you've taken or the scan you're working with into the Capture tab is to orient it so the foot is pointed straight at you. Once you have it straight, save your work. So get it straight, save it. This tells the computer what is anterior, what is posterior, what is medial, and what is lateral. If you don't save it, the computer has no idea what is up or down. So once you have it saved, then you can move on to edit. So once you have it in edit, there's some great tools in here that you can use. These three icons do three different things. The scissors here gives us this screen that you can pull down, and then you can shorten it to whatever length you want. We're going to leave it just above the medial and lateral malleolus, or malleoli. But if you use this one on the left, if you have a big area, obviously if we left click now, the whole thing is going to disappear, but we can go back to our left arrow and it'll come back. But if you have a large area of noise or artifact that you want to just get rid of, provided it's not touching the model, you can highlight that large area over here to one side or anywhere and eliminate that very quickly and easily. The scissors, we already know, brings a screen down that we can then bring down, and if I want to just trim off the top, I can cut that area, it'll disappear. And then you have this eraser tool. It brings out a circle that I can then trim off specific areas. I can actually make the circle bigger by using this sliding scale. So I can trim off an area of the model by double clicking. Okay, so those three little icons allow us to use these different tools. Very nice. So that's how editing works. We're going to move on to align our shape. I usually like to start in the left-hand corner, grab the double arrow, or 4-arrow box, and basically get the image down here in the left-hand corner so that I have 4 even squares in this green area, and then use the bent arrow here and turn it so that the vertical axis is kind of squarely through my image of the foot. Then go to the middle one, do the same thing. Try to get it above the horizontal line and then get the vertical axis squarely through the foot. Move to the right-handed one here, get my foot, if I can, above the horizontal line, and then get the vertical axis straight through the top of this line. Now keep in mind, we're using the AFO software to modify our foot orthotic for the simple fact that it gives us a lot more tools in the modification process in order to modify the foot orthotic. All right, so right now I have this set up so it's aligned where I believe I need it to be. We're going to go ahead, save our work, and move on to the next step. So I'm going to hit save. I'll look over here, it says saved. All my orientations are correct. This is anterior, posterior, lateral, medial. Everything looks good. We're going to move on to the final alignment step. Now in here, this is asking me to place markers at certain points on my model. And again, another reason why I like the AFO alignment and the AFO software for using this when modifying our foot orthotics. So I'm going to click the Achilles tendon. It's going to spin my model around, and I'm going to place this little circle at the Achilles tendon insertion. I'm going to click the toe center. If you have missing data, just move this over and get this placed as closely as you can. Let's try and place it right here. If you place this too high, your arrow is going to come right out through the top of the foot. So move it around and get it. Let's see if it'll let me place it right here. Yes, perfect. See, I have this red line coming out. If I spin this around, you can see it coming out the back of the foot. So here it is in the back, here it is in the front. That looks fantastic. So that worked out just fine. I'm going to go to the top of the foot. When I scanned this patient, I actually placed my marker right on the third metatarsal head. So this is asking me to place this at the top of the foot. If you read the instructions, if you go to help, they Willowwood does a nice job of providing all the information you want, and they're telling you to place this marker on the third metatarsal head on both the top and bottom of the foot. I like to place the markers right there when I do my scanning. And then there is no question as to where that marker is. And again, a red line is going to come right through that part of the foot. Next marker is the medial malleolus. I again placed a reflector there. Navicular, again I placed a reflector there. No question as to where it needs to be. I have now placed all those markers they want. Tells the computer where the foot is and all those orientation points. I'm going to move on to this one smart global blend. I usually just do this one time, and now I can move on to the landmarks. All right. Lateral malleolus. Double click. If it's already checked off, you don't have to do it again. So we can go ahead and move on to the rest of these. There's just one other thing I want to point out. Right now it's telling me I'm in the foot orthotic landmarks. If it doesn't say this, click the gold star, and there are other landmarks in here. So if you're in the wrong set of landmarks, go ahead and change it. But we're in the correct set. So I'm going to go back out here. My model disappeared, but that's fine. I'm going to click this and it'll come right back into view. So now I need to place the first met head. And when I scan the patient, I place the marker there. We're going to go back, look at it from the side. Looks accurate. You'll notice there's some missing data here. Because it's behind the metatarsal heads, doesn't matter. When we fill out our toe box later on, it's going to go from the first met head, or the apex of the first met head, through the apex of the fifth met head. So our toes are not going to be, the missing data from our toes, it's not going to matter. With our foot orthotic, it's basically from the met heads forward going to be flat. So that'll all get filled in later on. All right, let's place our last marker. Well, actually, it's not our last, but we'll place it at the apex of the fifth met head. Double click, it places the marker. I'm going to go to the fifth met head, or the base of the fifth met head, which is right here. Again, I placed a reflector there when I did my scanning. Makes it very easy. All right, we are done. This is how we work through the capture tab. I've fulfilled all of the things that Omega has asked me to do. There's a check mark next to all of these, which indicates I've finished my work. So this is how it works with using the Omega software for the capture tab. So we've completed everything we need to do.